Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Current News Extra interview session. Joining us today on Current News Extra interview is Talisha Shan. Talisha Shan is a digital tech professional. So, Talisha, you're welcome to Current News Extra.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, today Talisha will be helping us to talk about a very important topic. It boils down to the role and impact of blockchain in the healthcare sector. So that's what she will be helping us to talk about so that we will throw more light on this particular topic. So, Talisha, can you give us a brief about yourself before we proceed?
Certainly, I am currently the Vice President of Blockchain Consortium International. I am a digital healthcare professional, as you said. I've been in the healthcare sector now for almost 10 years. I've been in the technical arena for almost 25 years. With regard to my computer science, I have an MBA with regard to medtech, and just combining those two things, being in the healthcare space, which continues to change, so I change along with it.
That's interesting. You are in the healthcare sector and you have experience and you have seen how the healthcare sector is like, and you know what blockchain is about.
Definitely. The healthcare system, specifically in the United States, is a very siloed system where we have a large amount of data that needs to be transferred through different providers, payers, even the patient information. But at this time, we don't have a really good way of doing that. And we have a large amount of regulation with regard to HIPAA compliancy, who gets to have the information, timing, all of those things come into play. And this is where blockchain is pivotal in accessing those and addressing rather those problems that we have currently in our siloed systems.
Okay, very interesting. Since blockchain technology is going to play a very good role, how do you think this is going to happen? How do you think this blockchain technology is going to be applied in the blockchain sector, in the healthcare sector?
Well, actually, it can be applied in many different areas. We're seeing some current projects with regard to credentialing, which is one of the very simplest things of making sure a doctor or a nurse or any of the healthcare providers have the correct credentials to practice in the United States. So that's one of those really easy verification tools that can be leveraged through blockchain. We have a procurement system. Our supply chain is very, very broken. Specifically, we're seeing a large amount of that with the COVID-19. We're having a breakdown in the PPE and making sure we're even getting the drugs and any of the hardware that we need to each and every one of the hospitals and care center providers that are required. So we're seeing that, procurement aspects, the drug administration also needs that to ensure, the validity of drugs that come through our country, since we have to export and import certain things to ourselves. So there's a whole range of areas that this will impact, but more importantly, the patient data is extraordinarily important and needs to be validated and needs to be provided to different people, including the patient. So that's one of the biggest areas that will be impacted by the blockchain.
Very interesting, different areas. One of the areas that blockchain will play a role. Still moving ahead, you are in the healthcare sector and knowing very well what blockchain can do and how the healthcare sector is like. What do you see? How do you see the future of the healthcare sector with the application of blockchain technology?
I think the crisis shows that we need a new healthcare system, and with regard, the new and improved technologies are really at the forefront of changing the system, because we need a lot of things at the same time. We need protection, we need immutability, we need the transport of it, and we also need that to be disseminated very quickly to the individuals that need that information. So blockchain becomes pivotal in providing all of those things in a seamless manner.
Oh, okay, as a lady in the industry, I know there are a few ladies in this space. How are you coping?
I think, again, you just kind of show up in the space. I've been in, like I said, healthcare for quite some time and also in tech. So merging those two wasn't difficult, but it is, you see where you fit in and try to make that the difference. So being a resource is, I think, always a very important thing. Being able to look at those problems very critically and having something to say with regard to how the pieces fit is what, I try to show up and do every day.
Okay, interesting. Very, very interesting. Thank you very much, Talisha Shine, for joining us today on CoinNews Extra interview.
Thank you.